Of course, now the game isn't working.
Perfect.
It's just a comedy of errors.
PC gaming, right?
PC gaming. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's just a black screen that's Polygon. That's apropos.
But and as people were discussing in the chat room, that Polygon logo up in the corner, incredibly high res, amazing graphics, amazing next gen graphics.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. Thanks, guys. That's not adding to my immense amount of frustration this morning or anything. Oh, God. It's not like I have to deal with Origin or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's just say our problems aren't with Origin, but I think it's fair of us to just blame them all on Origin.
Are they seeing the stream now?
I'm seeing it.
Okay.
And I don't think it's flickering.
Okay, well.
And I can see the frame rate counter. I can see so many things.
Alright. Alright, we're fucking live.
The game's not flickering. That's confirmed from the chat room.
Oh, good. Alright, so I'm gonna start in the third chapter, because I think that's something that most people haven't seen. And it's also one of the better parts of the game, other than the very end, which I'm not gonna show you guys, because that seems kind of spoilery. More spoilery than showing you the entire game, which is what we're about to do. I'll play on Soldier, because I don't want to die over and over again while I'm talking about this goddamn game.
Listen up. As long as Cell controls the power, they control us. Enslave us. Cell's Golden Goose rests at the Zuckerman Energy Nexus near Broad Street Station. They call it System X. This remnant of Ceph technology is
the story is something that you were a little disappointed in, as long as we're talking about that, right?
Yes, that is accurate.
Not that necessarily the story in the previous two games was incredible, but that there was more potential that they didn't do much with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Welcome to our humble abode. So they're always on our tail. We have to move around like nomads.
So for those asking, there's people in the chat room already asking what you're using.
I gave you my specs.
Yeah, I can read those off here. Core i7 3770, Sapphire AMD 7970 for your graphics card, 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, and a 256 gig SSD hard drive.
Ordinarily, I would skip past the story shit, but the character faces are so good that I feel like people will probably want to see them.
What a day. We lost some good people.
They're really good-looking characters.
They're pretty good-looking characters.
What the? Oh no. No.
Claire.
It's gonna be funny when I have to drop my resolution from 1080p to actually play and stream at the same time.
Is it Ceph? Cell? Is it even human?
I fully expect that to be what's gonna happen.
Have we been sacrificing good people for that mutation?
Look.
This is not just a suit, Michael.
Claire. 5 months now we've been here. The balance of asymmetrical warfare favors us less every day.
German
This was
accents.
meant to be our Normandy. But alas, here we are in hiding.
Frank in the chat room says, hey, it's the Doctor from Far Cry 3.
No, that guy was... I don't think he might have been British. Is he British or American?
I think it means more the look, probably, than the accent.
The Prophet.
This guy looks so much better than any of the character models in Far Cry.
I remember you.
Hold still, please. Recombinant DNA.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculously good looking, even on like a stream, which obviously is not going to give us.
It's super sharp.
Synthetic.
Yeah.
Super sharp.
Incredible.
I can't get a read on you.
Oh, come now, Prince. What did you expect? I designed your suit.
Apparently the sound might be a little bit off, but I'm not sure that we have a way of fixing that. I think that might just be a stream issue.
Claire's right.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know of any way to
risk.
fix that, honestly.
So much power, but volatile and willful. Fractious. Tell me, did Michael brief you on our plan?
Chris Plant is in the chat room.
It's brilliant, boss. This will cripple
He
Cell
would
for
like
good.
more shooting. That's what he's looking for.
Situation is far worse than any
Yeah,
of you can imagine.
if you guys want, I can
have
skip past the rest of this
glimpses.
story and go straight into playing the game.
We will take the fight to Cell. Shut down that energy nexus and end.
Yeah,
all
I
this.
can't speak for anyone else.
Bring
I'm
about the extinction
I'm not
of
invested in
all
the Crisis
life.
story,
This
so I don't. A couple people are saying go into the game. So
Holy
lots of skip.
shit. Okay, yeah, the frame rate's down to 24 and I'm not even doing anything.
So that's fair. Yeah. So probably you were running it higher when you were playing it for review, but since we're streaming,
Also, because I'm a mutant, boop, 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 boop.
It's stuck open.
what are you doing?
I'm inverting my...
Arthur.
I'm also, if you guys really want to be scandalized, first of all, I'm playing using a gamepad. Second of all, if you look at the stick layout, you'll see that I have it set to lefty.
You're like a
Yep. Whatever
all of the
mean thing you're about
respect
to
that
say.
I've built up for you is just draining.
Fortune Hydra there.
Duder McBrien says Arthur's a monster. Chris Plant says too far.
This is a very pretty game.
So people in the chat room, someone was wondering what's the max frame rate that you've been getting, or average frame rate.
So I actually had to artificially frame limit the game because it'll just swing like crazy from anywhere up to 60 to like 20 or below.
Just depending on what's happening on screen at the
Yeah,
time.
and it's really random. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's particularly related. So it's just easier to get a reliable frame rate and play at that, because otherwise the control response just varies so wildly. Like right now, like the frame rate just jumped up to 40, and
This Cell's energy nexus.
I don't know why.
System X. We knock out
DirtDog20 says while you're messing with the options, he suggests maybe putting on auto aim while you're at it.
Explain this to me. Why a damn?
Like, see, you guys can.
Infinite
I think
power
the frame
source in
rate counter
System
should
X.
be visible to you guys.
Or maybe there's
Yeah,
something
it
about
is
System
appearing
X
up in the
that
corner.
scares
People are
them.
seeing it.
So you're seeing it go from like 60 to 30. Because
Looks like
I was capturing a little
How
bit
well do you
earlier
know
and turned
these
off the
people?
frame rate limiter,
Can we
and I might
trust
need
them?
to
What's with their freaking out
stop
about
the
my
stream
suit?
at a checkpoint and change it and re-enable the frame rate limiter, because honestly, it's kind of hard to play.
Sure.
Oh.
stairs are
So obviously, you know,
We'll have to get
the main
ready
thing
for
that we're
it
talking about right now is the look, the visuals, which I think you made clear in your review that graphically this game is
Stunning, I believe, is the
awesome.
word that I would use.
Yeah. Which
Look at
probably
them
one of
textures.
one of the few cases where I would see stunning in a review and be like, okay, yeah, it makes sense here.
No. Piss off.
Yeah, I'm definitely, once I hit a checkpoint and I have to start fighting, I'm gonna have to stop the stream, or not stop the stream, but give you guys a black screen for a second while I dick with some external utilities to make this run at just 30 frames per second, because it's like, imagine if you were moving like a broomstick and then you tried to move it through air and then jello.
I do that all the time. That's my weekend.
Yeah.
Talavir says, does Arthur think we will get on-par graphics with next-gen consoles and their optimizations? And if so, do you think it'll be right at launch or a few years after? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, Romeo
I think
1, this is
some
Romeo
things
Actual.
won't be as
I'm
good,
assuming
like
control.
basic, like
I need a direct
image
link to the
quality
nanosuit's
stuff.
visual output.
Like
Over.
Roger that.
it probably won't be
Only
quite as
for
sharp.
as long as it's necessary.
But maybe it will, because I mean both next-gen consoles are using as much memory as I think that Crysis 3 can actually use right now. Did I just hit a checkpoint? Did you see me hit a checkpoint?
I didn't see it, but if somebody in the chat did, let us know. There are people saying you did hit a checkpoint.
Okay. I'm gonna quit out and set my frame rate doodad.
I'm gonna enjoy this black screen momentarily.
PC games.
Yeah, Clumsy Agent in the chat room says lots of dicking needed with Crysis 3 confirmed.
Yeah. No, really.
Have you, at this point, have you had the chance to play console versions at all?
Yeah, I played a couple of hours of the 360 version.
How do you feel about that comparatively?
I think they're technologically impressive. If that's really all you can play, then I think that it's still a decent shooter experience, and it's still beautiful. Like, the game still looks really good. It's just not... I don't think it's on the same level as Crysis 3 on PC. But it is pretty technologically impressive what Crytek has managed to squeeze out of at least the Xbox 360 version. I haven't seen the PS3 version yet. They haven't sent it to me.
Sure.
But we will probably have a review up for the 360 version soon.
Cool. Chris Plant says he's going to work now, which I find highly dubious. But he says, please tell Arthur to shoot a helicopter as soon as he gets a chance.
That will definitely happen on this stream.
Great.
Is everybody see the game again?
Yep. It's looks like it's going again.
Excellent. My cats were just rolling around together and hugging right now, which I cannot explain.
Turn off the
you.
game. Let's put the stream on the cats.
They would be more interesting, I'm sure. They have better radio presence.
Malikans wants to know, when it comes down to it for next gen, do you think it'd be better to invest in a PC or a console?
I think that there are going to be a lot of console exclusive games on both PS3 or on the next PlayStation and the next Xbox.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well.
Where am I?
Also, a question that will be at least a little easier for us to talk about tomorrow.
Yes.
Is we'll hopefully have some information about at least what Sony's doing tomorrow. Hooded Burrito Guy, which, man, what an awesome name. Hooded Burrito Guy. He wants to know, what specs are your cats?
One is a mountain cat, Mutt, and the other is a Nebula.
Oh, wow. They're adorable, I know that.
Yes.
A couple people asking for us to stream more often. Hopefully you guys were able to catch... I did a Sly 4 stream recently. We did one last week. And then those are both saved in our Twitch channel. And we'll also be going... We're going to start putting stuff on the Polygon YouTube channel as well. But I think the plan is for us to continue doing streams of new releases to go alongside the review stuff. So yeah, we'll keep doing some streams.
Let's see if anyone notices.
So this is the bow that you wrote about in the review.
This is the bow.
This is the thing that does not take you out of cloaking when you use it, and usually one-shot kills everyone, and thus kind of breaks the difficulty of the game a little bit.
Yep. Combined with invisibility, which I am right now. Right now I am invisible. And I'm going to lower the draw weight, which means I fire faster. It doesn't do as much damage, but for humans, it doesn't really matter. And you'll notice that I just picked up my arrow from that body. And since I talked about how easy this game is in my review, I fully expect something to go really wrong in this stream and to die.
Repeating the PC specs, because I knew I'd be repeating them, because I had a lot of people coming into the stream and asking. Arthur's running this on a Core i7 3770, Sapphire AMD 7970, 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, and 256 gig SSD hard drive. Lots of Year of the Bow getting mentioned. Benmo says, is there anything not written in your review that you believe is important to know about Crysis 3? Is there anything that didn't fit?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, like, how people read it. Like, I enjoyed Crysis 3. Like, here's the stereotypical, it's not a bad game comment.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bad game. It's still a better shooter than a lot of other shooters. But I definitely don't think it's near as good as Crysis 2 was. But I mean, I really liked Crysis 2 a lot.
Sure.
A lot.
Horseketeer wants to know, do you get to have the bow the whole game, or is it only available on certain levels?
No, you have it all the time.
Okay. Do you have to take trajectory into account?
You do. You can compensate for it with draw weight. If you have draw weight tuned up as high as it'll go, trajectory isn't really a problem. See, you'll notice that anytime there's a body, they have to investigate it. And you'll notice, like I said, someone's hunting us with a butt.
Great. Perfect.
Yep, and I just picked up the arrow I used to kill him.
Yeah, so that's something you brought up in the review too, that you're technically, your ammo is supposed to be limited with the bow, but you can pick up the arrows you've used.
Yes. This game's real pretty, though.
It's real good looking. Zero Snap wants to know, do you have any idea who composed the music?
I don't. The music,
apparently it's really good.
The music is really good. That's something that I didn't mention in my review that I would say is that the music is really good. I don't think it's as good as the music in Crysis 2 was.
Sure.
But it's pretty good.
Some people are asking about the FOV, if this is the normal FOV, and if it's possible to change the FOV at all.
This is the normal field of view. I think you can use an external configuration file to change the field of view. I also read that it's a vertical field of view, so you don't have to make like very big changes for it to do a lot. So they added hacking to the game, which I didn't mention in my review, but that's because it's kind of dumb. But I'm taking over an enemy turret right now.
Okay.
Which also doesn't really make the game any harder.
Sure. I imagine that looked like it was a pretty easy thing to do, and from pretty far away.
They're also like intelligent minefields that you have to hack. That's cool. I got you, bro.
Horseketeer wants to know if there's any areas in the game that aren't easy. I know in your review you mentioned like the later portions of the game get a little more challenging, or at least mix things up a little more.
Oh crap. That's what happens when you don't hack a turret, because you didn't see it. There are parts later on that are more difficult.
Sure.
But it's never really super challenging. Some enemies, it just feels like there's a trick to beating them. And once you figure that out, it's really super simple. And there were, like in Crysis 2, there were plenty of points where the AI scripting would break and enemies would turn stupid. And not just stupid, but like brain dead. But when it worked, the enemies in Crysis 2 were pretty smart. That is dope. That is definitely not the case.
Yeah, Dustbuster says Crysis and Crysis 2 were both pretty easy if you took your time. But I feel like in those games it was maybe a little bit more... It just involved a little bit more strategizing, and you had to kind of use all of the options at your disposal, maybe more than this game asks of you.
This game does have vents, which is a improvement from previous Crysis games, which
Sure.
were woefully underutilized the vent.
Your pro-ventilation system in
I am
first-person shooters.
pro-vent, yeah.
Ceasefire! Ceasefire! Is he down?
Oh, you are going to be the saddest guy in a second.
Ben wants to know if there's any consequence if you don't hack a turret correctly.
You only have a limited amount of signal strength, and every time you fuck up, it depletes some of that signal.
Okay.
So if you fail, it doesn't necessarily kill you or anything, but it can, like you can run out of cloak and be exposed. You have to have a line of sight to hack something. So it can be challenging, and also there are enemies you can hack later.
And same deal, like you hack them and then they just turn to your side, basically?
No, it disables them.
Oh, okay.
For a second, and then you can get around them and do more damage, but it actually doesn't really make much of a difference.
Austin wants to know if the game feels designed for gamepad.
Yes. Very much so.
Interesting.
Very much so. So did Crysis 2. Crysis 2 played super well with the gamepad. Whoa! Fuck. Almost walked through lasers.
Lamb SPD is wondering about the frame rate. He must have missed earlier. Arthur went and locked the frame rate because it is incredibly jumpy, which I'm sure was not made any better by the fact that we're streaming it at the same time. But so it is locked at.
It maxes at 30. You'll notice right now that the frame rate is actually dipping into the mid-30s. Enabling VSync, either internally or externally, really kicks the crap out of the frame rate too. But it's just more pleasant to look at when it's VSynced, honestly.
Yeah. Yerdonin is wondering if, in your opinion, if Crysis 3 on 360 is the best looking FPS on consoles right now.
It could be, depending on your priorities. I like a consistent frame rate, but I also appreciate really high visual quality. And the frame rate on Crysis 3 360 isn't great. But it's decent for a lot of it.
Let's see here. Rio GTI says, so the Crysis series is all about the idea that you're given lots of options and how you want to fight. Does each option have equal weight in terms of how viable it is for combat?
I guess I could mix some shit up right now.
Yeah, Forsketeer is sort of asking something similar. Is like, can you just walk up to the guys when you're invisible and melee them?
You can't walk up. Well, I mean, you could, I guess, actually.
But that kind of, if you're meleeing them, it takes you out of the cloak then, right?
No, if you are cloaked, you can get stealth kills. Which are instant kills. So I'll show one of those right
That makes sense. Riznik wants to know if cloaking makes you completely invisible to the enemies, or if it's like, you know, if they're able to spot you when they look in that direction for long enough.
It makes you completely invisible to human enemies.
Okay.
But if Ceph get close to you, they'll see you. Which is supposed to be part of the sort of combat dynamic that aliens are more powerful than humans, and your tricks don't work as well against them.
Lamb SPD wants to know if you would say he's trying to consider whether or not to get Crysis 3 or to buy Crysis 1 on 360. He's more concerned about campaign. He wants to have a fun campaign. Which do you prefer?
I would get Crysis 2, honestly.
Okay.
Between the two, I don't know. Crysis 1 is decent on consoles, but I didn't actually like Crysis 1 very much.
Oh, Lamb SPD already has 2, so that's...
Okay. I don't know, man. That's a harder call, actually, than I thought it would be.
Some people are saying they are not fans of the 360 port of Crysis 1, apparently.
I think it's technologically impressive. There's a helicopter around here. If I can... Oh, there it is. Oh, but it's not over here. You guys can see me shoot a helicopter with arrows fairly soon.
Perfect.
Fence!
That's some not... Those are some good vents. That
They're
was
pretty
a
handy.
nicely rendered vent.
So, I mean, like, again, the game obviously looks really pretty, but people in the stream can chime in if they want. It's not... Like, it's just sort of there a lot of the time. Like, sometimes fighting is fun, but usually fighting is just sort of boring. Killing dudes is fun, but it eventually just feels really, really overpowered.
Some people are wondering about the UI, and if you think that the UI is maybe a little invasive or too large.
I mean, you are a post-human person inside of a combination of technology and DNA. I think that the UI makes sense for what you are.
Sure. You never felt that it got in your way as you were playing.
No, but I mean, like, the UI is part of the game design. You're supposed to scan ahead and see what's there and then mark targets. And if you forget to use all the tools at your disposal, then it can fuck you.
Austin says it looks a little like Deus Ex style in combat and exploration. Maybe inspired by the vents is why he's saying that, but he's wondering if it feels that way at all.
No. The combat in Deus Ex is pretty shitty, honestly.
Yeah, that was not Deus Ex's strong point.
Oh no! Anti-aircraft.
Perfect. Chris Plant is going to be so pleased.
Well, I didn't get to shoot it with an arrow, so I don't know that he's going to be pleased.
Well, it went down.
It did go down. The water in this game looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's good-looking water. Namerson says, in your review, you mentioned how stupid the AI can be. During harder difficulties, do enemies get any smarter, or do they just do more damage?
They never have in Crysis games. I haven't...
Never have got smarter in higher difficulties?
They've never been smarter. They've just taken more bullets. Or dealt more damage.
Somebody in the chat thought that I was Brian Crescente feeding you questions. I'm Phil Kohler. I don't think I sound very much like Brian Crescente.
No.
I do have similar hair, I guess.
Brian's hair is way nicer than your hair, Phil.
Oh, what? You're a traitor.
I'm not a traitor, I'm just honest. I'm a reviews editor.
That's wrong.
I give your hair a 6 out of 10.
Ugh.
But that's better than my 0 out of 10.
I gotta go, guys.
I have 0 out of 10 hair.
Bulbasaurus is wondering if you could do a little more run and gunning, because apparently the effects when shooting are really pretty.
Damn it, there's no time. Let's rough it up a little.
There's no time to hack. I'm gonna take way more time to kick things.
Also, Blurfire is wondering if there is a demo of this game for PC, which I don't know. I haven't heard anything about a demo.
I would not expect one either. Demos are vectors for piracy because they contain
I've got something else in mind. I think you're gonna like it.
Locked executables. Alright, here's some shooty bang bang. That guy just killed his partners with the grenade.
Talavir is wondering if the AI for the aliens in the game is interesting at all.
It's still pretty stupid.
Still pretty dumb. Bulbasaurus is pleased with the shooting.
Let me change my suit upgrade, and I'll enable power. There's a power upgrade.
So how do you unlock these upgrades as you're going? Is this just
you
like
find
a
you find upgrade points basically, and then you can.
And is it the type of game where by the end you're going to have pretty much everything?
I don't know actually. I don't think so.
There he is!
Hey, bro.
Oh, there we go. That's classic.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a much more enclosed area than a lot of the Crysis stuff that I'm used
Well,
to.
I mean, like to be fair, I'm in a structure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just used to more like you're out in the open and whip dude across the map.
There he is!
Oh, frame rate. Where have you gone?
Get the hell out of there! Oh, fuck! Get the hell out of there!
Somebody pointed out that the upgrade system looked a lot like a slot machine.
This is me hacking a turret and ruining some guys' days.
Hooded Burrito Guy says, any tips for getting used to keyboard and mouse for gaming? But clearly, he's asking the wrong guy because...
Yeah, because I'm using a gamepad.
Got
I'm
a
using
heathen...
360 controller.
Using a gamepad that's inverted.
Even more offensive to Crysis PC players, I think, it is a Halo 4 Xbox 360
man.
controller.
Wow.
So this part's
Romeo 1,
very cool to look
we've
at.
gained a 60-minute window on the primary target. You have multiple cell units moving on your position. Do not jeopardize the goddamn mission now.
I'm not doing any of this, by the way, it's just happening.
It's pretty. It's unfortunate that you're not in any control there, but... Brian Crescente is in the comments.
Oh, great.
Are defending his hair against my slander. That's what this is about.
It is about the hair.
Clear to proceed to the Nexus. I'm logging the hardware's explosive exfiltration as unpredictable
Rika
and
123
flat-out
asks
insane.
if this is on Origin. In fact, I think this is Origin is the only way to play it if you're doing
names.
PC.
You have a call
Yeah.
sign and a goddamn serial number.
And without me, you don't have a goddamn chance. So we both make the best of it. I need a sit rep.
Roger that.
I'm gonna go a little faster
Cell's
through
high
this
altitude
and stop
defense
sneaking so
system is
much.
completely offline.
Although honestly,
It's not
like my
over.
experience so far has proven
In
that
fact,
it
it's probably
doesn't
gonna get
really
worse.
matter.
Cells in
Yeah.
full retreat, but they'll hold up at
Tell
the
me a
next
little bit
base.
more about
Cell will probably try and turn
this
whole area
setting,
into a kill
about
zone.
this
Watch out.
messed up New York future.
So, did you play Crysis 3 or Crysis 2? I mean,
Yeah, I did not finish Crysis 2, but I played a good portion of it.
so the New York, goddamn, look at that water. Looks so good. The shit that went down in New York in Crysis 2 basically ruined it, and there was so much ambient energy from the alien stuff that was happening that it caused all the vegetation to overgrow. And it's also giving off so much energy that the corporation from the last game, Cell, can use it as an energy source.
Sure.
I'm about to ruin someone's day.
Is it mine? Are you going to assign me something really bad for review?
Well, not today.
Probably inevitably. People are wondering if you talking a lot about Origin since that came up. Did you run into any issues with Origin as you were reviewing, or was it mostly working all right for you?
I mean, but I was also running pre-release code, and that always has unique difficulties.
Sure.
So my experience with installing is not going to be like even remotely close to other people's experiences with that shit. Like it just work that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Emma wants to know how many different types of arrows are there.
That's pretty funny. There are 4 kinds of arrows.
Okay.
And I'll walk through them. So you saw me use an airburst arrow a second ago, which just is like a little explosion. This is a thermite arrow. Suck it, deer.
Can you skin the deer and
No.
make a loot rucksack?
No, but I can do this. I just blew up the deer.
A lot of people in the chat room calling you a monster.
Yes, that's accurate.
That was Bambi. Lamb SPD says, could you confirm the campaign length? A lot of people apparently are saying it's quite short.
This is my service record. Keeping in mind I played about an hour extra.
Sure.
Give or take. I also fucked around with settings for about half an hour of game time at least. So there's this. And you can see looking at this that I have spent way more time in stealth than anything else except for the default suit mode.
Shoot it!
So you don't feel like I guess for you you don't think it was a particularly like overly short experience necessarily.
It was. I just don't like. It's not that it's short. I just don't feel like there's very much that happens.
Sure.
And that's like one of my main issues with it. Is that it feels kind of shallow through a lot of it. And I guess the weird thing is I still gave it a pretty good score because the basics of Crysis are still there, and fucking around with the suit powers
Still fun.
is still fun. And it's empowering in a way that most shooters aren't, because you're basically a superhero.
Reiko123 is wondering about multiplayer and hunter mode.
Multiplayer is what you expect
Suck it
from
up.
Crysis.
We've got more pressing matters right now.
If you played Crysis 2's
She
multiplayer
does
at all.
grow on you.
Sure.
I think I'm starting to like her.
The hunter mode, though, is pretty interesting in that a couple of players are in nano suits with bows, and everybody else is a soldier with guns.
Romeo 1, your primary target is in sight. The
Having
system
seen how
X device is
overpowered
secured in
the
a
bows kind of are in this
harvesting
game,
facility
does that
several hundred meters below ground level. But the
does that
control system
affect
is located
that mode at
directly
all?
above.
Are you
You'll need to find a
serious?
way
I'm
up.
on top of an inner tube.
Yes, you are. It looks like you're having fun. You're having a fun day out.
No, don't leave me, inner tube. I really think that this is going to take me all the way down the river. I have not done this. This is unscripted. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's taking me.
I understand if we need to publish a quick
Squirrels.
update to the review and immediately get that score right up.
I think there's an achievement in the 360 version for that.
Romeo 1, situation
Austin
critical.
wonders,
Cell
why do you think
continues to
Crytek
operate
chose
at
to release
next
now
to
rather than
power
waiting
for
and
the
making this a
stabilization
next-gen
matrix.
game?
The whole thing could implode at any moment. We're initiating Operation Jackhammer.
I don't know.
Bring the power output
I
under
think it's
control
easier
so
to
System
stand out
X can
right now than it
safely
will
shut
be
down.
Roger that.
when next gen happens.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Also, Crytek, by the time next gen rolls around, Crytek's going to be all free-to-play is what I heard.
Yeah, also, well, there's that, and also Crytek is working on Rise for Microsoft.
Oh, sure.
Which at this point, I'm pretty sure is a next gen game.
I have to assume.
Oh, turret.
You think, Yerdonan's wondering if you think it's possible there will be a next-gen port of this game.
I would say there's a pretty good possibility. I'm gonna hack a minefield.
The Burrito guy is wondering what happened to Warface. Is that their...
Warface
That was Crytek, right?
actually just found a publisher in North America, so it's coming out here.
It is still in the works, still happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's super popular in Russia. Alright, let's see if these guys walk into the minefield that I just hacked.
Monkey Stick wants to know, how much can you tweak the graphic options? How many choices do you have?
Okay, I'll go into the graphics settings and show everybody.
Show it off a little bit.
This is what people were interested in, I imagine. There are 4 settings for everything. There's low, medium, high, and very high.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, lowering everything hasn't really had much effect on the way the game runs for me, and I don't know why that is.
Sure.
But everything on low on Crysis PC still looks better than the console versions of the game.
And I know you ended up upgrading your PC some for this review.
I did.
Did you get a chance to try the game out on it before you upgraded?
I was having worse frame rate issues on the other computer, but in hindsight, I don't know that that's why.
Okay.
There could be a lot of reasons why that is. Step into the minefield. Shit. Oh, fuck this. Whatever. I'm not gonna fuck around with minefields. That's bullshit.
You don't have time for that.
I don't have time for minefields.
Another question, Rio GTI is wondering, can you customize the HUD at all? A lot of people seem bummed by the number of things on the HUD and want to know if you have any control over, like,
Whoa.
lessening them or anything.
I think you can... I don't know, let's look. HUD bobbing. You can turn the HUD bobbing down.
But not the actual, necessarily, not all the information that is being displayed.
No, but on PC at least, there are configuration options that you can use externally to tweak the game to your preferences.
Sure.
So that's an option.
Joran wants to know, do you think now would be a decent time to upgrade to a new GPU? Because he has to decide either now or this fall.
Yeah, because the only new thing in GPUs that's happening, like, this year, basically, is Titan, which is stupid.
I know that was part of your consideration when you were deciding to upgrade right now, as you kind of looked into.
I mean, AMD,
if and when.
Yeah, AMD and NVIDIA have both basically confirmed that there's not going to be new graphics hardware this year. There will be process improvements on existing graphics hardware.
The Hunter is wondering about how the game scales, and specifically, do you think maybe do you think an average rig can run stuff? Can run this game?
It just depends. Honestly, the minimum system requirements are higher than they were for Crysis 2.
Lamb SPD, we've talked a lot about the water. Lamb SPD wants to know if you think it's the best water that you've seen in a game.
Probably.
You gotta add that to the review. The best water.
Dope. I don't want to screw around with these guys, I just want to keep going. I'm so fast.
You're very fast. It's very impressive.
Whoop.
Somebody back me up!
So I'm gonna. So I feel like I'd mentioned this to you a little bit this weekend when we were talking about the game, Arthur. But I went to a preview event for this game in December, and obviously I'm not a big not the biggest Crysis fan. Played some of 2, but not a ton. But I was not able to make any progress in the map at this preview event. What's my problem?
Romeo 1,
you're not good at video games?
Facility. Locate the 2 power
There it is.
alternators.
Yep,
I need
that
you to
could be
close
it.
them off fast so we can
I'm gonna quit out of this and load a different saved game from somewhere else later in the game.
Sure.
The nice thing about the PC version is that it doesn't it quick saves. It doesn't let you save specifically, but every checkpoint is saved.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let me see here. And it has the playtime of where you are in each mission at the bottom.
Apparently, the user experience designer from Crytek is watching us.
Oh.
It's a nice stream. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Nice user experience design.
Yeah.
I do actually like all that stuff, so it's good that someone who did something that I really liked in the game is watching.
Yeah.
As opposed to some other things.
Secure. I put her on a free holding pattern.
Although again, not like this is necessarily a super bad game. Just
No, it's actually
disappointing in some
a
ways.
Hook
pretty
into what's
decent game
powering this
in a lot of
artillery. I
ways.
can control it.
Now I'm fighting Seth,
Oh, good. Okay.
and that's what you want to see. So this is where I need to increase the draw weight on my bow, which you can see at the top. Because I need more powerful shots. Whoa. Crysis 3 just crashed.
Whoa! It's a live show, folks.
Yep. That's what happens.
Wow.
Crysis crashes. So I'll go ahead and restart that.
PC gaming.
Tweaks. Let me just double check what my settings are.
Oh, to be clear, the user experience guy from Crytek did not work on this. He is at Crytek, but I think he's working on something else there.
Oh, well, then his opinion is meaningless to me.
Whoa! You went too far.
Too far?
It looks like he might. Looking at his Polygon profile, it looks like he might be working on Warface actually.
His
which we
user
mentioned.
experience design is sure I'm good. I don't know. I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Can we put the cats on camera while you're restarting?
Achieved with Engine 3.
This name wants to know what's the biggest impact on your performance in the game as far as settings and everything.
God, I don't know, actually. That's one of the kind of frustrating things about trying to get it to work correctly was I couldn't tell what was killing my performance. I'm assuming people can see the game again.
I can't see anything yet, but I could be a couple of seconds behind. Nope, nothing.
What?
Nobody in the chat room. Black screen, Polygon logo. Yeah, people are wondering if it's like shadows, anti-aliasing, what's...
I don't know, actually. Honestly, I really don't. Whoa. XSplit is unhappy with me. Phil, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the stream for a second.
Okay.
And I'll start it back up.
Okay.
And then we can say stream part 1 and then stream part 2.
Sounds good.
Oh wait, no. I don't have to. There it goes.
Hey!
Hey, XSplit, you decided to work. The threat of death is what convinced you to be less of an asshole. Thanks, XSplit.
You were ready to just delete it from your computer.
Occasionally, yes, I am ready to delete it from my computer. Let's see where this drops me. Load times on console are kind of long. I'll say that.
Okay.
Load times on my PC are longer than I would like, considering I'm using a fucking SSD.
Considering you can... Would you say it takes like 8 seconds to start Windows?
Like, seriously? You joke, but earlier when I restarted my computer, I didn't have time to go refill my water bottle.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Pixelfunk wants to know, did you install it on Xbox?
Yes. I install everything on my Xbox.
Yeah, I thought that's sort of your MO.
I really appreciate that alien technology is basically conquered by the bow.
Austin's wondering about performance on Windows 7 versus 8. You're on.
I'm on 8. And generally, the people that I've seen talk about the game are not seeing a performance bump for playing on Windows 7 or anything.
Okay.
I don't remember what guns I have right now. Okay. So, the new thing in Crysis 3 is you can use alien weapons, which I'm doing now. And alien weapons can fuck things up pretty well.
Looks cool. Oh man, this game is so pretty. This is the same thing that happened to me with Crysis 2. It's not necessarily my type of game, but
it's really gorgeous.
Yeah, I couldn't not play it for at least a while just because it is so good looking.
Okay, I'm going the wrong way. I think one of the reasons I like the Crysis games is because I kind of feel like the Tick.
Okay.
Because I'm just like doing the stupidest shit and I'm way over muscled and I'm just like grabbing onto things really powerfully when I jump.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah. Crytek.
How come there's never been a good Tick game?
This is what I'm saying is Crytek needs to make a Tick game.
Oh, that would be great. apparently there was an SNES tick game that is supposedly pretty okay. Epic Open World says it's great. Epic Open World is also a great chat name. We have some good names in the chat today.
So you notice I can still do the same kinds of like nanosuit management tricks that were in Crysis 2, like rapidly cycling out of cloak to fire a shot and then going back into cloak.
Uh-huh.
Why aren't you grabbing? What's wrong, big guy?
Some people asking about the AI. Is it specifically the AI that you had an issue with? I mean, I guess you mentioned that everybody always goes to check whenever someone...
Yes, and I mean, that's been pretty clear in this stream, I think.
Yeah.
That suicidally curious is the way I put it in my review. Okay, so you'll notice with this guy, I just cycle through my cloak fast enough that whatever he's doing just doesn't matter. And that was something that I did a lot in Crysis 2, but it was more gratifying than just constantly staying cloaked and using the arrow, and using the bow, which is basically what happens in this game. Look at that! Look at it! It's so pretty.
Somebody in the chat room brought up Metal Gear Vengeance, so just take good opportunity to take a second to remind people, if you're watching the stream right now for Crysis 3, we're going to be streaming later this afternoon, showing off Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and I don't know if is it going to be you playing that?
Yeah, I'll be playing while you and Mike talk.
Yeah, we'll have Mike McWhorter joining us on Skype to chat about the game and his review and why he loves it so much.
Artillery is disabled.
Talavir is saying, speaking of Metal Gear, we did our first video review for Metal Gear. He's wondering if it's our intention to ramp up to have video for all reviews. I don't think it's going to be for all reviews, but definitely for more.
She's down.
For high-profile stuff, that will be a plan.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Hold position.
So we will continue doing more video reviews and more streams, more stuff.
Yeah, more stuff, I think, is a good philosophy for us. More stuff.
I think Chris Grant was talking about making that our new tagline for Polygon.
Yes,
Polygon : more stuff.
We're only half joking too. I mean,
Shameful Sitter says, "I love the video review. I hate reading." I'm glad you love the video review. We are writers, but I wish you'd like reading. But also, we'll do more video stuff.
Now I'm using an alien sniper rifle, which is a little absurd. I appreciate how accommodating the aliens are, just standing in one place.
For those wondering where that video review is, that's in the text of the or in the article for the Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Rising Revengeance review. Yeah. The video is embedded in there.
It'll be up on YouTube at some point. But we want those sweet advertising clicks.
Please give us clicks.
Yes, please let us pay for ourselves. Let me give Phil a raise.
That would be so good.
You do that by watching videos at Polygon.com.
Oh, now I'm sold. Austin wants to know if there's a reason that we didn't do a video review for Crysis 3, and I think it's
I got Crysis 3 last Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, and we're definitely still in the process of
all units, Rebel Vulture
doing tests with video reviews. I think we weren't for sure if we were gonna be doing the Metal Gear Rising one up until maybe day before.
Hear you're in the area.
Because we're still doing lots of like testing different things, seeing what works. So
And I mean, there's still lots of logistical stuff to sort out, and obviously, like
we're kind of all across the nation.
That's all. There's also that. So we need to figure out like the way to make that shit work in a way that makes sense. So it takes time.
It's exciting though, man.
It is very exciting, and I'm really happy with like all the cool motion graphics stuff we were able to do on the Metal Gear review.
Hey,
I think we might actually be
there?
putting up
In the VTOL. Get us the fuck out of here.
a 60 frames per second version of the video review today.
Oh, cool.
Because Jimmy, one of our video guys, saw that IGN did it and was so excited by the prospect that he wants to shamelessly steal their idea, which is the most sincere form of flattery.
Yeah, yeah.
We're used to it.
Bulbasaurus is... that was good.
Shut up.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Bulbasaurus is asking questions about advertising stuff. We're the worst people to ask about advertising.
I'm not necessarily the worst person to ask about advertising stuff, so you can ask.
I'm the worst person to ask about advertising stuff.
You're the worst person to ask about lots of things.
That's true. I just live off of it. I don't understand how it works at all. Well, he's wondering about the big speed stick advertisement on our front page, and if that's going to be a common thing. I don't know. Ads are going to be common, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, we need ads. We need that stuff.
I'm a fan of when we can do non-game ads.
Yeah,
I think
non-game ads are good ads for us to have, just financially speaking.
What's going on here?
I'm just trying to shoot this thing with arrows and failing.
You got a big rocket launcher thing, right? Yeardonin is wondering if there's any incentive to replay Crysis 3 upon completing the story. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead and answer that.
I'm about to die, is what's gonna happen right now. Oh, because there's a fucking alien turret right there. Oops. What was your question?
If there's any incentive to replay?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Some people just like play all of their games like 17 times, so maybe if you're that. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm saying it because some people just play games differently than I do. But usually, once I play a game, I'm just sort of done.
Sure. Bulbasaurus has clarified what he was saying. He actually wants there to be gaming-specific ads, which I get that. It's actually usually better for us when there aren't.
Yeah, I don't want to like ruin the mystique or anything, but we make a lot more money off of non-gaming ads than gaming ads.
And also, then like obviously. As is hopefully evident from my lack of understanding of anything related to ads, I don't think you have to worry about like when we have an ad for a game that it means anything improper has happened, but some people do.
This stream brought to you by Internet Explorer.
Yes. So when we can have like a non-gaming related ad, then people don't have to worry about like, oh, I saw an ad for this game and then the review was really good. What's up with that?
The fact that we have those ads means that advertisers think highly of our audience.
And we think highly of our audience as well. Yeah. I think highly of all of you. And okay, Arthur doesn't think highly of anyone, but his cats. But I think highly of everybody.
Highly of my cats. My cats are assholes.
Somebody in the chat room said of our advertisers, they think we are rich, and then a very hearty laugh.
They do actually think that you're rich. Or maybe they don't think you're rich, but they're apparently rich people who read our site or something. Something I didn't really have time to mention in the review is that the vehicle sections in this game are really bad.
How like, are they pretty infrequent at least?
They don't control very well. As you can see, me dying.
Yeah, that didn't look great. That didn't look very good.
Times. Is there anything that anybody would like to see other than multiplayer? Because I don't know that that's working.
Yeah. If there's anything you want to check out in the chat, let us know. We've still got. We can run for a couple minutes longer.
Let me load a different mission. This is the level that they've been showing a lot of.
Yeah, Bio 551 is wondering if you can have a more open section.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that seems to be the most common request.
Copy that, Romeo 1. You have cleared the perimeter. The Liberty Dome is designed to contain a Ceph threat. You have the advantage.
New York's regional
Thoughts on the Destiny reveal, Arthur?
Underwhelmed.
Really? You wish they'd actually showed something?
Yeah, I wish that there had actually been something to look at.
Sure.
Well, you know, this one's different.
So I mean, I would like it to be awesome.
Oh shit!
I really like Bungie's output. I think the concept art looks great. I think a lot of stuff about it sounds really cool. I am reassured by the fact that they're saying that they want it to be the best shooter you've ever played, because I was honestly kind of starting to get concerned about the online focus of the game.
Sure.
But yeah, it actually seems like it
Look at this.
is going to be a little traditionally Bungie in its gameplay design.
Experimental nanotech.
Cheetor says, when would you even have time to play Destiny, Arthur? Well, presumably, there's a good chance that you might be reviewing that game.
Maybe.
One day,
We'll
years
see.
from now. That is not out this year, right?
Probably not.
This name is wondering if you glanced at the NVIDIA Titanium announcement today.
The Titanium or Titan?
I don't know. Maybe it's just Titan.
I'd heard that it was called Titan. They might have just decided to call it Titanium.
He said,
I think you can go straight to hell if you think I'm going to spend $800 on graphics cards.
okay, it is Titan. You're correct.
There's no way I'm going to spend that much on video cards. That's fucking crazy.
It is apparently it is $999, not $800.
Oh, okay. Well, double fuck you then.
You were. It is even more than you were not willing to spend.
Yes. Oh god, the frame rate's just fucking crawling right now.
PC games, we're streaming it.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure a lot of it is due to extra stress you're putting on the machine from streaming.
I guess, but this is like the first time I've had an issue streaming a game.
Scanning sector 1 Delta 6.
Which is frustrating, honestly. It's kind of surprising that Crysis 3 is as resource intensive as it is.
This name is wondering what the card that you just bought cost.
400.
400.
Which was on sale like for about $150 off MSRP on Amazon.
People are wondering how that hacking system actually works. A lot of people in the chat have been saying that it looks really lame.
So there's like a frequency thing, and as your cursor goes up and down, you need to be in a certain area, and then you click X or whatever, and it locks onto that frequency. and you have a limited amount of signal strength to do it, and if you click on an area outside of the signal strength area, it depletes your signal strength.
Okay.
Just kicking taxis.
Just like in real life.
Yes, I kicked a lot of taxis when we went to New York last year.
Mm-hmm.
Womp womp. So, in case you didn't know, that this is Psycho from Crysis and Crysis Warhead. And Psycho has been skinned, as they call it, which is forcibly removed from his nanosuit.
So he's messed up.
He's old. This is like 20 years after Crysis 2, I think?
And you're playing the same main character from Crysis 1 and 2, right?
No, so Crysis 1, the main character was a guy named Nomad. And his commander was Prophet.
Right.
Crysis Warhead, you played as Psycho. In Crysis 2, you start the game as a Marine whose call sign is Alcatraz. And he's mortally wounded at the beginning of the game, and Prophet puts Alcatraz in his suit. And over the course of the game, what you find is that
he's dead now.
Alcatraz is essentially dead. Prophet's consciousness was uploaded into the suit, and has slowly been transforming the body inside of the suit into something that Prophet's stored mind can use. So technically, retroactively, you're playing as Prophet.
There's no time to go around.
Through Crysis
kill
2.
radius and rate of fire is within manageable.
You don't know it until the very end of the game.
Sure.
But technically, you're playing as Prophet.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, that you bastards! Yeah, I'll try you all on! Yeah, come on! Let's have ya! Come on!
Are you insane? Those guns will rip you apart.
Ah, so now you get the picture. They took my nanosuit, Prophet. I'm human.
Human? You know how
And what
much
was it
I
that the
sacrificed to stop
I know
this
you mentioned that
How do I get that
Crysis
back?
2 had as far as plot stuff goes had some more thematically interesting things.
Yes.
Crap.
What was it that Crysis 2 had that you think 3 is missing?
Well, I mean, like the nature of identity and being human,
what's your
and
plan?
also it just handled the sort
Designate and
of
execute targets.
the evils of aggressive capitalism
You
a lot
do the
more
fun
interestingly than this does.
Okay.
That's not the Psycho I used to know.
Also, I mean, I really like that author,
Things change.
and I saw a lot of little bits of his sort of writing and ideas in that game.
Sorry, which author is that?
That's Richard Morgan.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, this is how it's gonna work. I'll call out the locations as I see them. Like this one in Sector 1 Delta Zero. These
Pretty
are potential cache locations.
frame
Our primary target
rates.
is Tower 3 Delta 3. As
Both
soon
of those
as
things
you
are true.
Let me see if I can do anything to fix that. We'll turn the shading to high.
hardware will knock the bastard out cold.
Helped a little bit, not very much though.
Sector 1 Delta 3 looks good.
See, that's the thing, is like you'll notice that I changed a bunch of settings.
There.
I changed
Sector
quite a
1 Delta
lot,
0.
and it's really not helping with performance very much.
Sector 1 Delta 2 got something.
Yeah, it seems like it's not going to be easy to figure out exactly what is affecting it.
What I think is happening is that it's a 32-bit executable,
Okay.
which means that it's only accessing 4 gigabytes of the memory in my system, or less, actually, more like 3.5. And just for some perspective, I have 3 gigabytes of video memory, to say nothing of the 8 gigs of system RAM that I have. So it's not, I don't even really think that it's using most of my memory, which is a problem. What? Shit.
I think some people in the chat room are pointing out that Ryan Davis of Giant Bomb would be very mad with your pronunciation of executable.
Executable.
Ah.
It's like executive decision. If it's good enough for Harrison Ford, it's good enough for me.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
So that thing is firing on the last place it saw me.
Benmo's wondering if you think is Crysis 3 beatable without being cloaked most of the time?
Yeah. I just
If you were to go in the opposite direction and not use the stealth very often.
Well, I mean, why don't I just run places then? We'll see what happens. Let's get nuts. Whoa.
You need to approach the target covertly, boss. Prioritize Sector 1, Delta 6. Strong contender.
So this part, technically, you're supposed to sneak, but fuck it! Oh Christ.
That's what I always say. In that order.
Whoop.
Magazine depleted. Weapon system offline.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Fuck, man. How you firing that? Jesus! I don't like how you did it. But that is fucking beautiful!
So,
Okay.
there you go.
Attention.
That's
Suggest we
really
move out
that's a
immediately.
pretty explosion.
Yes. It's a pretty game. Landmines.
Cheater points out that weapon is OP.
Yeah, I mean, you can't reload alien weapons. And basically, you can hold it, and if you
Give me
try
an
to
update
switch
on your
weapons or
position.
whatever, it throws
Let's
it
link
down.
up.
Roger that.
Okay.
Whoop. See, I just feel like the tick. I just want to go, oop, every time I jump.
Watch your sectors, move and shoot. Gunslinger 2-1, action. Enemy ICOM chatter indicates there's
Um, Blake Snowflake says this game feels too gamey to me. It's just levels with a bunch of enemies spawned in. I don't think gamey's a bad thing.
Light up a large
I mean, I'm cool with gaming.
It's gotta do interesting things with those mechanics then. Yeah, Tor Browser points out that he basically said this game feels too much like a game.
nothing there.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Heads up, Prophet. Cell reinforcements en route.
Ooh, ooh.
Close in on him.
Ooh. That's some bullshit.
Blake Snowflake is saying he's talking about how Crysis 1 he said didn't feel like a game. It felt like a world that was alive.
I felt Crysis 1 was kind of boring and the enemies weren't very fun to fight. I mean, that's my opinion, obviously. Like, you are not, like, tied to thinking the way that I think about a game. Which is like...
Well, I am.
reviewers-
I am contractually tied to that.
That might as well be like the reviewer's motto, is you don't have to think the way I think.
So I guess probably kind of wrapping up here, but the Hunter asks, and I feel like this is probably a pretty good summation of your thoughts, but you can tell me if that's true or not. It says, so Crysis 3 is the prettiest, but Crysis 2 is the better game.
I think Crysis 2 is the best designed Crysis game. But yes, Crysis 3 is very pretty. As you can see. It runs like crap, but it's very pretty. But I imagine that that'll be addressed by the community finding like the best way to configure the game to run the best and look the prettiest. And then for the people who really want to destroy their video cards, there will be mods out there for like more particles, like higher res textures, although the textures in this game are already pretty high res.
Let's make an absurdly good looking game look even more absurdly good.
Well, it's more like we want to feel better about how much we spend on our video cards.
About the $1,000 video card I just bought.
Or the $2,000 video cards they just bought.
Oof.
You know, like you do.
All right. Well, we should probably end the stream.
Heads
Yeah.
up.
we will we'll be back this afternoon. What are we doing? 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll have Mike McWhorter with us. Hopefully, we will not be late that time. Now that technical difficulties. I mean,
we addressed like there hasn't been any flickering in the stream this time. I don't think.
Nope, it has been smooth.
Yeah, so we should be good.
All right, so hopefully you guys will check in then. We'll be showing off Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance and taking your questions. So see you guys then.
Bye, guys.
How'd you find that gun?
It's not important.